Today, we are taking a look at Fender's current lineup of Princeton amplifiers.
12 watts of tone.
Fender's currently offering 5 different models of the Princeton amplifier. Today, we're going to take a look at each one. We've got all 5. We're going to compare and contrast.
There's different flavors with all these amps, but they do share a lot of crossover. They're all 6v6, around 12 watts, and a really portable kind of backline amp that a lot of gigging musicians use.
Yeah, this is a very popular choice for people's at-home amp, living room amp. Let's check them out.
The 65 Princeton Reissue, it's a black face model, nice clean headroom, pretty versatile amp, the most common amp you're gonna see.
Yeah, this is 2 6v6 output tubes, 5 AR4 rectifier tube. It's got reverb and tremolo, and this is a well-built little amp, really good home amp. It's a good gig with it for sure. It's lower volume settings.
Yeah, it's a common pedal platform for a lot of players too. It has that C10R speaker, which is 25 watts, made in Italy. Decent amount of headroom on this amp. It's also a plywood cabinet, so unlike some of the other amps we'll look at, which are solid pine cabinets, this is a plywood cabinet.
64 hand-wired custom shop Princeton. This is a nice amp.
This is a nice amp. This is my favorite amp of the bunch that we're going to be looking at. Decent amount of headroom. It has a P10R speaker in it, which is an Alnico speaker, made in Italy, 25 watts, and it also has a solid pine cabinet. So the cabinet is solid pine construction.
Right, so this is the same kind of output as the 65 reissue, but it's hand wired. So 6v6 output tubes, 12AX7 preamp tubes, 5 AR4 rectifier. It's got reverb and trem. But the voice of this amp is different. There's more of a mid-range presence to it, which makes the playing interaction, quite different than the other amps.
Yeah, it's a bit more articulate too and more dynamic. So I think, again, this is probably one of the most interesting amps in this lineup. Up next, the hand-wired 62 Chris Stapleton Signature brown face amp.
This is a beautiful amp, and so it's a little different. 2 6v6 output tubes, 5Y3 rectifier. It's got one volume, it's got a tone control, one tone control, and then it's got tremolo. There's no reverb in this amp.
Yeah, and it's a bit of a departure from the other Princetons we're going to look at because it's a 12-inch speaker. It's an Eminence designed, higher headroom 12-inch speaker. It also has a solid pine cabinet like that 64 custom shop one that we looked at. So
yeah, this is another custom amp, hand wired, made in the US. It's a great sounding amp, with the mid-range characters quite different again. This is a whole different thing going with a 62 brown face amp. The Tone Master Princeton. This is the Princeton Reverb with no tubes at all. This is all DSP powered. So it's all modeling, but it's of one amplifier circuit. I guess they're going for that 65 Princeton sound with this amp.
yeah, and it shares a lot of characteristics with that 65. It's got the same speaker built into it. It's actually 50 watts solid state to simulate that 12 watts tube power. Same speaker as the 65, so 25 watt, made in Italy Jensen, and a solid pine cabinet, which is really lightweight.
Yeah, it is lightweight. This is a great grab and go amp. This is a great, you could plug in an XLR in the back and plug it into your computer, so you can record quietly. It's a good Swiss Army knife kind of amp to have around the house or studio.
And it is made in China, so that's why the cost reflects that. This is one of Fender's Chinese-made products. They still use that Italian speaker, but it is made in China. The 68 Princeton Reissue. This is a silver face amp, loosely based on the late 60s, early 70s silver face Fender amps.
Loosely, very loosely based. I think the idea with these amps is they wanted to have it as a little like a gainier option. They're also going for a price point here with these. They're trying to give you an option for a Princeton tube amp at a lower price point. So it's 2 6v6s, 5 AR4. The build quality is not up to the same standard as the other amps we looked at.
No, I mean, these ones are made in Mexico with the Chinese-made speaker, and it's definitely a price point amp. We noticed when we were doing this video that the grill is actually surrounded with a metal, kind of a metal surround. That's making contact with the faceplate, the silver faceplate. And what often happens if it's not tight enough or placed in the right spot, the grill will actually contact the faceplate and make a buzzing noise. So we had to spend some time kind of trying to get that dialed in before we did this video.
Yeah, and you know, you can get it dialed in, but there's a reason that this option is less expensive than the other tube options. And I mean, you know, still, if you that's what you can afford, you know, this is still a good amp. But if you want an opinion, we think the other models would be a better choice.
Yeah, and I think when this amp is working well, it's a decent sounding amp, and it's a different thing from what all the other Princetons are. That earlier breakup, different dynamics, you know, takes pedals fairly well, but it is definitely maybe a step below the other amps we've looked at today.
I would agree. Thanks for watching our shootout video of the current offering of Fender Princeton amps.
We've been waiting till we had all 5 amps in stock to do this shootout, and it was really interesting to hear the differences, both clean and dirty, on all these models.
Yeah, it really was. There's a wide range of tones available throughout the lineup, and we hope you found the video interesting.
Yeah, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, please subscribe to see more content from us.